Chapter 5, Infection Control. Complete the following to move on to the next learning objective. Read pages 84 to 87. Remember to read all of the Did You Know and the caution and figure reading in your textbook. Watch the instructional video. Do not move ahead on the video without completing check-in questions for understanding. Complete all vocabulary words in your spiral notebook. Complete your My Lady workbook pages. Complete all of your practice work and your practical work before moving on to complete your mastery check. So let's dive into learning objective 5. After reading pages 84 to 87, you will be able to explain the difference between cleaning, disinfecting, and sterilizing. You will know how to properly choose a disinfectant. You also will know the proper use of disinfectants and disinfectant tips. So what is the difference, ladies? What's the difference between cleaning and disinfecting? So let's watch this 1-minute video. Watch the video in full screen.
Okay, great. Okay, great. The office looks nice and clean. But is it disinfected? If it's clean, it's disinfected, right? What's the difference? While cleaning physically removes dirt and grime from surfaces, disinfecting actually kills harmful bacteria and viruses on surfaces or objects. Once an area has been cleaned with soap, water, or any additional detergent, it needs to be disinfected with an EPA-registered healthcare disinfectant. Disinfection can happen at the same time or after cleaning, depending on the product. Disinfection is never done before cleaning. Always follow the instructions on the product label and pay close attention to the amount of time needed to kill germs. Cleaning and disinfecting go hand in hand and are both important to keeping staff and patients healthy and safe. For more information and to download a cleaning and disinfecting checklist, visit aap.org/Project Firstline, created in partnership with support from the CDC.
Okay, ladies, so we know that there is a difference between cleaning and disinfecting. So when we get back in that lab, we are not just going to clean, we are going to disinfect. Prevent the spread of disease. This is extremely important heading back into the lab. Proper infection control can prevent the spread of disease caused by exposure to potentially infectious materials on an item's surface. Infection control will also prevent exposure to blood and visible debris or residue such as dust, hair, and skin. Proper infection control requires what? 2 steps: cleaning and disinfecting with an EPA registered disinfectant. What is EPA? Environmental Protection Agency. When these 2 steps are followed correctly, virtually all pathogens of concern in the salon, our lab, can be effectively eliminated. So this is important. This is why you have to have your 180 hours in infection control before you head off into the lab. So here is an example of how we will begin to disinfect after each client and before each client. So we are disinfecting our salon and our tools and our chairs before we take our first client, and we are repeating after that client before the next client comes in to sit in the chair. Cleaning, step 1. The first step in infection control is cleaning. Remember that when you clean, you must remove all visible and surface dirt and debris from tools, implements, and equipment by washing with liquid soap or detergent and warm water. So we're going to wipe down first, lady. If all that dust and stuff is just sitting on the chairs or anything that you see on the chairs or your implements, we're going to wipe it down first. And then we're going to start to wash it with liquid soap or detergent and warm water. And also, by using a disinfectant nail brush to scrub any grooved or hinged portion of the item, will get our implements thoroughly clean. So here's an example of how clean your implement should look after using a disinfected nail brush. So let's talk about our check-in questions. I want you to think about these. List 3 ways to clean your tools or implements. Why disinfect with an EPA registered disinfectant? What are pathogens? And why is it important to clean and disinfect? Sterilization. Sterilization, which is the process that destroys all microbial life, we know that from learning objective 1, can be incorporated but is very rarely mandated. I want you to read further, top of page 85. Decontamination. Decontamination is the removal of blood and all other potentially infectious materials on an item's surface, and removal of visible dirt or residue such as dust, hair, and skin. Decontamination requires a broader process that aims to make a surface or object safe by reducing or disinfecting all types of contaminants, including microbes, chemicals, or radiation. Microbes, microorganisms. Disinfection, step 2. Now we know that disinfection is our second step of infection control. Remember, disinfection is the process that eliminates most, but not necessarily all, microorganisms on non-porous surfaces. This process is not effective against bacterial spores. In the salon setting, disinfection is extremely effective controlling microorganisms on surfaces such as shears, nippers, and other multi-use tools and equipment. What is multi-use? We're using over and over again. Any disinfectant used in the salon must carry a EPA registration number, and the label should clearly state the specific organism that is effective in killing when used according to the label's instruction. So I can't stress enough the label's instruction. What is the manufacturer saying? We can't just pick up items to disinfect and we don't know what is on the label. So remember, when we're back in that lab, disinfectants are not for use on human skin, hair, or nails. We know that. Never use disinfectants as hand cleaners or sanitizers, since this can cause skin irritation and allergy. So we don't want to have a problem back there. And you know we need to have on gloves as well. Do not put your fingers directly into any disinfecting solution. That's a no-no. All concentrated disinfectants must be diluted exactly by the manufacturer label. What are we heading back to? Manufacturer label. All right, choosing a disinfectant. Number one, you must read and follow the manufacturer's instruction whenever you are using a disinfectant. So just don't go back there grabbing and spraying. Mixing ratios. What does that mean? Dilution, right? So we have to dilute our disinfectants. And contact time, meaning the amount of visibly moist time required to be effective against pathogens listed on the product's label are very important and can vary widely based on the manufacturer and delivery methods. Not all disinfectants have the same concentration. Disinfectants must have efficiency, meaning the ability to produce an effect. So if you have a 1-to-1 ratio or 2-to-2 ratio and you have 2-to-1, you know that disinfectant is not going to be efficient. So let's get into some check-in disinfectant tip questions. List at least 4 disinfectant tips. Here's one. Use only on pre-cleaned, hard, non-porous surfaces, not on single-use abrasive files or buffers. Why? Because it's single use. You don't use the same single-use product on the next client. We dispose of those. You give me 4 more. Proper use of disinfectants. Number 1, implements must be thoroughly cleaned from all visible matter. This is how we're disinfecting our implements. Number 2, properly cleaned implements and tools must be completely immersed in a disinfectant solution. That's when you mix your ratio up from water to your disinfectant. Complete immersion means there is enough liquid in the container to cover all surfaces and the items being disinfected, including the handles, for 10 minutes or for the time recommended by the manufacturer. So that means we are putting our implements immersed in our disinfectant for 10 minutes. Here is an illustration of how complete immersion should look. So on your station, while you are disinfecting, it should be completely immersed, not under the handles, but over the handles or the combs. Okay, ladies, complete all vocabulary in your spiral notebook. So here are your 8 terms: cleaning, disinfection, sterilization, decontamination, allergy, complete immersion, contact time, and efficiency. Once you've completed all your work, complete the exit slip and take your mastery check to move ahead to learning Objective 6. Good luck, ladies. I'll see you in learning Objective 6.